So take me down to
Today I'm just going to share with you how I started playing music, and it starts about 5 years ago. If you really want to get to the start of it, it starts in 5th grade when I played Elvis in the 5th grade choir concert, which was pretty fun. But I've always been infatuated with music. I've always loved music, but I've also always played baseball, and that was always my first love. So I played baseball all the way up into college, and my freshman year, about the 3rd week into the season, I tore my lat muscle right under my shoulder right here, and woke up one morning, couldn't move my arm for about a week, and it was awful. And so I was out the rest of that year, tried to come back my sophomore year, and just within the month and a half of fall ball, my arm was killing me, and I knew I was done. So now I'm sophomore year of college, and got nothing left to do other than school at that point. And I thought, well, I could either get into some bad habits or I can get into some good habits and learn an instrument or something like I've always wanted to. And as luck would have it, my fraternity brother and good friend Billy Rawson, who is now living in China, Billy, shout out to you. He was selling a guitar, so I bought it from him for I think about $120. And once I got it, I never put it down. The first song I learned on YouTube was Home by Chris Daughtry. And then from there, I started just growing out other songs, all your basic ones that, your average college guy is going to play around the bonfire while everybody's having a couple beers and having a good time. That was me. And then fast forward to maybe a year later, I'm playing covers for my girlfriend, Danielle, as many of you know her, and her sister and brother-in-law. And her sister and brother-in-law are huge Dave Matthews fans. And they said, learn a Dave song for us, cover something. So at that time, really the only Dave songs I was familiar with was Crash, Ants Marching, and Satellite, because my sister was a huge Dave fan when I was younger, and I remember her having to take me to wherever she had to take me when I was a kid and listening to that on her tape or CD, whatever it was back then. And so I tried to learn, and I was like, Crash can't be that hard. And the way that Dave Matthews, it's a simple song once you learn how to play it, but the way it's set up, Dave's like this on the guitar and on the fretboard. It's really weird. And so I was like, well, if that simple song, what I thought was simple is like that, I wonder what everything else is. So that's when I became a huge Dave Matthews fan, because every song he plays is just nuts on the fretboard. It's up and down. So then I really started getting into Dave Matthews. And as many of you know, I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan now. And it's just because I've learned how to play so many different notes and chords and things from learning all his songs that, it's hard not to think he's awesome for all the stuff he does. So after I started learning different notes on guitar, I started writing songs because I didn't want to be compared to any artist. I didn't want to play a cover and people be like, oh, you sound like that, or you don't sound like that, or, and I also kind of wanted to just express what I was thinking through song because I thought it was cool. So I started writing songs. I started really doing research on how Dave Matthews approaches songwriting, Bob Dylan, how he approaches songwriting, Neil Young, John Mayer, etc., just all that stuff. And I started writing songs. And so now we're probably into like the late 2012, early 2013. My first show after frequenting a bar when I would come home on breaks, it's called the Clubhouse, and the old owners there, Tommy, was good friends with and grew up with Danielle's parents and her ma especially. And so I was introduced to him, and we became good friends. And I was like, hey, I play music. Why don't you give me a shot? Let me play my first show here. So they did. They enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We had a pretty good turnout. So I started playing there when I was home. But my first show was there. And then, as luck would have it, Clayton Anderson, he plays at Wabash, where I went. And my senior year, he was there playing for a big party that we have every year. And so my friends there, they kept asking him, like, hey, can Frank open for you, 20 minutes, whatnot. And they couldn't get a hold of his manager, or his manager wouldn't respond. And sure enough, when he arrived, they asked him again, and Clayton was like, yeah, I don't care, let him play. So that was awesome. I got to open up and, have a big crowd. I played in front of a lot of people that I went to college with. And that was like a really big thrill, So then I graduated started working and really started, just kept writing, kept playing, kept learning, and playing more and more shows. And, it's just progressing. And one thing leads to another. At first I was just trying to learn how to play guitar. After that, I wanted to really learn how to be a good songwriter. Then after that, I wanted to learn how to record well and mix and master, because when I was just first starting to write songs, I recorded just an acoustic CD. I think there was like 8 songs on there, and I listened to it now, and it was absolutely awful, or it is awful when I listen to it. And but it was just a stepping stone. I would pass it around and say, "Hey, what do you think of these?" And some people were like, "Yeah, you got something." Others were like, "You suck." But that's cool. I mean, it's the way. It's a growth, and everybody's got to go through that growth no matter what you do. So, and then I came out with What You Got, and that was really a demo of what I thought was my 10 best songs at the time in 2014, 2015. And I would pass that out all the time to anybody, just free. Just take it, listen to it, follow me. If you like it, follow me. And that was really helpful, because a lot of people, really liked either some or all of the songs on there and started following me. I started gaining a following from that. But I listened to that and I think, well, the recording on that sucks, which is awful, because the songs are good. It's arranged well, but the mix and stuff, there's peaks, and it pisses me off. So, I really learned how to record from 2015 to 2016, and then I came out with what is now Places I've Been, the EP I just released in August. And to me, it's my best work up to date. For me personally, I'm very proud of it. And when I released that, I created Fire Tree Records, which is my record label behind my music. It's the business behind my music. I guess it's just ever growing. They continue to take the small steps, and I encourage anybody out there, because I wanted to make this video because some people always ask me, how'd you get started? How long you've been playing? And then when I tell them, others will say, man, I want to get started. I want to play an instrument, or I want to write songs, or I want to get out there and start playing live shows. And, you can do it. It's just a step-by-step process, and you can't get down on yourself. For some people, they can put up a YouTube video, get a record deal the next day, and be famous at 15. For others, it's a lifelong process, and that's okay. It's all about your journey. And to me, I think the lifelong process, the bands that have been lifetime bands have been the ones that have been working since day one and have not stopped. I mean, you think Dave Matthews Band, you think Pearl Jam, Fish. I mean, these are all bands that, have always been at the peak, either have been mainstream success at some point, or have been under the radar at another point, but they always had the same goal, just to play music and make a career out of it, and they've done just awesome things. And there's a lot of musicians out there like Dallas Green, City and Color, who I'm a huge fan of, and who my buddy Antonio Soria kind of brought me onto. He's awesome. A lot of people don't know who he is, but he's got I think almost 100,000 fans on Facebook. He's awesome, and he's underground to some people. He's mainstream to other people. I mean, it's all about what you can do, what you can produce. It's all about the steps you take. So if you want to play music, or if you want to do anything, I just encourage you to do it. You got to get out there. Even if you're afraid, or you put out some mediocre stuff at first, just start getting it out there. The sooner you start getting it out there, you get feedback. The more feedback you get, you know where to take your next project, or you know where to take your next song. And it's all a journey. It's all a path. Don't expect it to happen immediately, but just know that if you put in the hard work in anything that you're going to do, it's going to work out for you. So that's how I started. That's how I play music. That's what I do. Never thought I would be this into music when I started, but it just happened that way. So I want to thank you guys for following me. Please subscribe to YouTube. Follow me on Frank Ruvoli Music on Facebook, Ruvoli31 on Twitter and Instagram, and I look forward to talking more to you guys. Thanks.